Hurricane Danielle. As of the latest advisory, still a Category 2 storm that's down. It was stronger for a time late yesterday and early today. Now moving north-northeast at 9 miles an hour. Very well-formed storm, but you see the clouds here coming out of the southwest. That's what's going to direct this storm over the next couple of days. So it's not a threat to the U.S. coast. It will bring some high surf and a rip current threat. In fact, that's happening now to the southeast coast. And we're also going to see some higher waves coming into Bermuda and a glancing blow. So maybe some tropical storm force wind, but probably not sustained tropical storm force wind. Now, I want to show you the computer model forecast. And you notice here these separate lines generally right together, or clustered, as we say, and that means there's a high level of agreement between the computers about where this thing is going to go, again off to the north and east, and eventually into the North Atlantic, where it's going to weaken in much cooler water. So we turn our attention to Tropical Storm Earl. Now, this thing is a little disjointed right now. The convection here is not located right over the center. That's just off to the northwest. There are actually two separate areas of convection, but we think it's going to get into a more favorable environment. Already you can see pretty healthy outflow off to the south there into the west. And so as it continues to move into that healthier environment, it will most likely be a hurricane within 24 hours. Now, here are the Lesser Antilles. This thing is moving west, 18 miles an hour, and I'm sure you're wondering, where in the world is this thing going to go? Well, we think it will begin to turn a little bit more towards the northwest, west-northwest, and northwest, probably moving to the north of the Lesser Antilles, but it's going to be very close. So there are tropical storm watches up for these islands here, the northern part of the Lesser Antilles, and you see the clustering right in there. Then there's some divergence among the models as it gets out into the southeast coast. Will it move more west? Will it move more north? Will it recurve? That's a question that we really can't answer. We think that it probably will recurve, but how close to the coast is it going to be when that happens? That's something we just don't know right now. So if you live along the east coast, you need to watch this very carefully over the next few days. And then behind that, there is another system. That's a tropical low that is most likely going to turn into a tropical depression today or tomorrow. And in fact, there's an 80% chance of that happening. And once it becomes a storm, it will be Fiona. Most likely it will become a storm. And here's a computer model. Now, what you've got here are upper-level stream lines, height lines, and you can see the trough in place right through there. There is Danielle being drawn out by the southwesterly flow aloft. You see that moving away. Then some ridginess, if you will, builds in to a lot of the east. There's another trough in the west which is going to take its sweet time coming out. And so does that allow a window for these systems to come in? You look late in the loop here and you see there is Earl and there is Fiona behind that. Will they have a chance to develop and come up towards the southeast coast? That we don't know definitively right yet, so we want you to stay tuned.
And Carl,